close your eyes.
Fresh off the road course in Texas, tonight we travel to Virginia to the short track of Richmond Raceway, and we're going to be under the lights. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Eliza Bethel alongside Pete Ruzick for SnB's Cup Series, presented by WoodyxCA. All right, Pete, tonight, another short track for us. Practice has been looking pretty hectic tonight, but we have a lot of fast times. What are you seeing that's going to happen tonight?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's kind of interesting, Eliza. First thing, a good evening, and glad to be here as always. It's kind of interesting, our new points leader coming into Richmond, the one and one Matt O'Brien, also fastest in practice, followed up by Brody Falliker and newcomer, or first new season, I should say, for Jackson Glenn Austin. So very interesting top three. Andrew Wisdom had a dominant performance last week at COTA, but here we are, Commonwealth of Virginia, Richmond International Raceway. I'm ready to go. Who's your pick for this evening?
Man, you know, it's going to be a tough one. I mean, last season, we saw Wisdom that won. So if he takes it tonight, that's going to be back-to-back wins just this season. I mean, he just won at COTA last week. So I know he's going to be a strong player. Holzer did well. I don't even know if I've seen Holzer in here tonight. So we'll see. Yeah, he is out on track. There he is as we speak. So I think he will be another fast one. But I'll tell you what, we have very, very loose conditions tonight. That is something that we're going to have to watch. These guys are going to have to watch their throttle control. Off of 4 is deadly. We're going to see sunset right now, but we're going to go under the lights really quickly there, Pete.
Yeah, 35 Shake It Big iRacing Cup Series drivers that have kind of described the track almost Phoenix-esque, if we're talking about a level of looseness with a little bit of a feel of a dirt track, but no cushion to help save them. 160 laps on tap. I'm really interested to see what this is going to be. Watching Holzer right now, he is slideways all over the place. And if a season 1 champ in Holzer is that loose, Eliza, boy, this could be a great race, and it could be a great race for a first-time winner.
Yeah, we already have O'Brien on the board with a 21.77. I do believe that is the fastest lap time we've seen yet. Jackson Glenn Austin, he's up there on the board with a 21.88. Brody Falliker, he's out there, 21.90, P3 so far in qualifying. Tom Flitcroft, a 21.92, and he's going to move down the board as Micah. He's going to go up to P3 with a 21.87. So a lot of 21s out here. It's going to be really exciting to see, but we're going to have a lot of patience tonight. I think it's going to test a ton of these drivers.
You know, it's kind of interesting in practice. I was talking about the limited amount of drivers that got down into the 21-second bracket. And so far, we've got eight of them. Cody Kalinka, Flitcroft, like you just mentioned, Team FTR driver Jordan McGraw, Dane Cruz is going to put down a very fast lap right now, showing to be P5. Brody Falker, Micah Allard in that 61 showing third. But right now, Matt O'Brien, can anybody go on up there and topple him?
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine, and it's going to be close. I mean, he's obviously very solid here. He was also fastest, I believe, in practice, so he's going to be someone that these guys need to look out for. What I don't see, we talked about Wisdom. He's sitting P10 right now, so I'm curious what he's going to do, if he's going to play the long game and try to save the tires, and if he's thinking that we're going to have a few cautions out there.
Before the beginning of last year, I was kind of just thinking Andrew Wisdom, he's just a road course ringer of Shake and Bake. And then he went ahead and put an entire season together and taking the championship. I don't sleep on Wisdom anymore. That man is not only a road course ace, but he can get it done on any given oval on any given week.
Oh, absolutely. You see Justin Mons out here. This will be his first race with us. He is out here part-time, and he chooses to join us at Richmond. So he's going to be out here in a pretty wild race tonight. These guys qualifying is over here. O'Brien will take pole. He's going to be a 21.77. I don't see any other drivers out as of the moment. And I know Hunter Johnson wants to know, what is his paint looking like? He wants to see. There it is right there. He's got Team Conti paint is what I'm seeing. So hopefully that's what you are expecting us to see there, Mr. Johnson. Hope everyone is doing well. Thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. David, I see you out there. We have Jacob, 100, and he says 180. So I'm assuming he's talking about the laps. It's going to be a wild one tonight, Pete.
Yeah, it's going to be a great race, though. I mean, we were talking in pre-race a little bit about the officials and the different handling characteristics of Richmond, or all the different drivers that were feeling somewhat different things. But that's what it's all about. And when we've got 35 different drivers, if not a little bit more by now, it meant with so many different skill levels. I just think all around it's going to be a great race. As it looks like 23 Jose Ruiz, he's going to wrap up his qualifying effort.
He wraps it up, and we are going to grid already. That flew by, but we have Matthew O'Brien. He's going to be on pole with Glenn Austin. He's going to be on the outside. So great job for these drivers. Let's go ahead and bring up the grid and get these guys moving along. So far, Matt O'Brien, he is on pole with Jackson Glenn Austin on the outside in that 21 machine. In row 2, we have Micah, who is in that 61 with Brody on the outside. Row 3 is going to be Dane Cruz with Jordan McGraw on the outside. Tom Flitcroft, P7 with Thomas Harmon on the outside. And row 5 is going to be Cody Kalinka in that 79 car with John Honeycutt beside him.
Absolutely. Then we got the 5 of Brendan Book starting P11 with the one and only Andrew Wisdom in the 51, rocking P12. P13 looks like it's going to be Riley Rosenbrook in the 86 with Hunter Johnson in the 18 to his outside. Row 8 is going to be Joe Berg in the 93 with Matt Burgess in a 12. Justin Mons, like you just said, in that 41 started P17 with Jeff Byers in that 333 18th. 19th, the one and only Jimmy Cocker in that 11, and PJ O'Leary starting 20th in the 24.
And 21st, we have Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. He's going to be out there along Jose Ruiz. Right beside him, we have Joshua Vidal in the 27 machine with James Holzer on the outside. And for P25, Matthew Gale in that 67 with Philip Bridgman on the outside. Francis Hamilton in the 48 with River Jones beside him. And 29th, we have Luke Allen in the 7 machine with Jeff No in that 55. And Andrew Sanford is going to be in the 37 with Drew Zaff on the outside.
Yeah, Jacob Locklear in that 84. 33rd with 34th. It's going to be Jacob Palmer in that number 39. Dylan Robb in the 16. 35th. 36th. Brian Pizzakemi in the 78. Chuck Cody in that 31 starting 37th. And Kevin Dallator in the 92 starting 38th. And that is going to round out the field. Eliza, 38 bad, fast, shake and bake Cup Series drivers about to tackle this 3/4 mile D-shaped oval. I say it again, it's going to be a phenomenal race. The guys are pulling off pit road. We're rolling. I'm ready to roll.
I am too. It's going to be a fun one. 4 different winners so far this season. Tom Flitcroft won our first race with James Holzer. He won out there at Las Vegas. Hunter Johnson, he won it for race number 3 at Bristol. And Andrew Wisdom last week at COTA. So who's going to be tonight? Will we see a repeat winner, or will we see another new driver making 5 different winners so far?
I tell you what, I think Jackson Glenn Austin may have something to prove this evening. He's been very, very fast. Can he get it done tonight? I think so.
He has been extremely fast. We've seen him out here a couple of times. New this season, the rookie for SnB, and he's looking very solid. I'm excited to see what he can do here. He's going to be starting beside Matt O'Brien, and shortly we will go over points, but we are getting ready to go green here at Richmond Raceway. Pace car should be pulling off shortly, and we will be doing the restarts will be enabled for these guys to choose when they're going to go in the box.
Yeah, restart's going to be key, and it's all going to be all about getting that great restart. Usually, when you go on the leader, you're kind of stuck as to when he gets going on that loud pedal. But that 43, he's laying it down. Eliza, we're green.
Oh, a little bit of action already. 21 comes down. I don't know if he broke loose, but at the start. But here we go. Matt O'Brien in the lead, and he's going to have Micah directly behind him. Jackson on the outside. So far, we are green, and these guys getting a feel for him. Well,
What do you got now?
Pete, I jinxed it. Chuck Cody, it looks like something happened with him. Let's take a look, see if we can find out.
Yeah, Chuck Cody, a little bit of an issue, but yeah, you were right about Jackson Glenn Austin. Spun the tires on the start, went down, kind of tagged the inside row just a little bit, but great recovery for him.
Man, unfortunate for Chuck Cody. He just got a little bit of that apron, and off you go. Collected 1 car with him, but he was in the back, so not much else to be said. Unfortunately, that is going to be our first caution, and it did not take long. As we're sitting here waiting around in the caution, let's take a look at our points so far in Season 3. It is going to be Matthew O'Brien. He is our leader in the points. 132 with Andrew Wisdom, going to have 126 points. At P3, we're going to have Tom Flitcroft. He's got a win under his belt so far. He's got 118 points with Thomas Harmon. P4 with 117. James Holzer falls quite a few positions to P5 after last week at COTA. Had an incident. Lap 1, turn 1. Unfortunately, he did retire later on. We have Jones, P5, tied with Holzer for 109. Jimmy Cocker in 7th. Brody Falliker in 8th. Jose Ruiz in 9th. And Matt Burgess is going to round out the top 10.
Yeah, Kalinka, Berg, Book, Sanford, and McGraw. They're going to go from 11th to 15th. So some comers and goers after COTA. But, how about that? Last week we had, 19 or 20 drivers tackle that almost 3.5 mile road course. And here we are this week, 38 drivers here for this tiny, tiny little track in Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah, this D-shaped track, it is a tricky one. You have to be so gentle on that throttle. A lot of these guys are having issues. Even on the straight, they're saying, I have to actually save my car all the way down the straight. So a lot of these guys are going to have some issue. They're going to have to take it easy. Make sure you are completely straight before you get fully on that throttle. Otherwise, you're going to see yourself spin around, and that's the end of you for that one. No fast repairs. So that's something that they will have to watch. Once you get the damage, you have to sit on pit road and get it repaired. So, yeah, you got to take it easy.
Yeah, and if you're lucky, it could be damaged for just a few seconds, either optional or mandatory. If you got to sit there for a couple minutes, you will lose multiple laps, as again, these guys making their way around this tiny 3/4 mile track at just about 20 to 22 seconds. So if you're sitting on pit road for a couple minutes, your night's going to suffer.
Absolutely. Only a few takers for pit road, and I don't know if that was to repair some damage, but some of the drivers in the back did have to. Brian Pizzikimi coming out of pit road. Jeff No, Chuck Cody, all of these guys on pit road. So interesting to see Not sure if something else happened or if they're going back in to try to fuel it up, but I think we're going to see a couple of cautions here tonight.
Yeah, I think so, and that was kind of the feeling I was getting from most of the guys as I went through and wished everybody luck as I tried to do each and every week. Some were kind of describing it almost, Phoenix-esque, like I was saying before, and others kind of felt like a little bit of dirt track, but we'll see. I think those guys that went down pit road maybe just to get out of the Hornets' nest, if that's where they were, maybe get to the rear, stay there, and maybe as the night goes on, if it goes long, lean and green, as they say, they'll have a good chance at working their way through the field. Well, pace cars pulling off. 43's got Barney in view. Green flag. Let's go.
Back to green, and Matthew O'Brien already with a nice lead. We've got Jackson, Glenn Austin side by side with Micah. So these guys just battling it out already for P2. We'll see what they can do out here. But Dane Cruz not too far behind. A couple of these drivers are new drivers to SnB, and man, they are already making their face known out there. Great job to these guys. Cody Kalinka out there in the top 10. He's had a great run so far this season, side by side with John Honeycutt. We'll see how that battle turns out there, Pete.
Absolutely. Right behind them, Brendan Book still sitting P11 right where he qualified as the 34 Sega Genesis machine for Jordan McGraw. A little loose off the corner, getting into the next round of corners with the 79. As you said, Cody Kalinka to his outside. Brendan Book behind. Here comes the 51 of Andrew Wisdom.
It looks like we are trying to go 3 and possibly 4 wide just a minute ago. Somebody hits the wall hard there, and I'm thinking, let's see if we can find out who that is. They are now 3 wide. That was going to be the 86 of Riley. He manages to hold on to it, but I can tell you what. Ooh, contact right there. Jimmy Cocker involved, Joe Berg, Riley Rosenbrook, and yeah, that's going to be a big one. You see bumpers missing already. So unfortunate right there.
The 9 Aerokinetics machine, I believe that was going to be for Philip Bridgman, up and over on his lid, and just nowhere to go from that. I think he was stuck on the wall, but Philip Bridgman, he had to tow.
Man, super unfortunate there. We'll see from Riley Rosenbrook, see what's going on here. Try to back that up one more time. You can see the 3 wide right there. They just get up, and Jimmy Cocker, I don't know if he knew that they were 3 wide. He came up a little bit. They could have been attached. It looked like there was some contact between him and Joe Berg, and unfortunately, quite a few drivers involved in that one already. 2 cautions so far. I think this is one of those tracks where cautions are going to breed cautions. It's a tough track out here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming off 4 most, it's like natural to allow the car to eat. You're opening up the wheel, coming off the corner, trying to carry the most amount of speed that you can. It's just you cannot fit 3 cars in a lane and a half coming off 4.
Absolutely. RC Action, great to see you out there. Savage, what's up? Hope you guys are doing well. It's going to be a crazy night out here. If you guys are out here and you want to tune in to another stream one of these nights, be sure to tune in for WoodyxCA. I put a link up there in chat. I'll put another one out here. He does NASCAR Heat. He does Warzone. Be sure to click on the link, give him a follow, come back over, and enjoy the race.
Always great creativity from Woody, and I'm definitely very appreciative for his sponsorship here of season 3 for the Shake Bake iRacing Cup Series. Pace car lights are still on. That 43 of Matt O'Brien has led every single one of the 13 laps so far, whether under green or under caution. Micah Allard, Jackson Glenn Austin, Dane Cruz, Brody Falliker down 1 spot. Can't really talk much about comers and goers as of yet, because you're going to be talking about some of the guys that are way back in 17th and 18th, maybe 20th and whatnot, guys that are up double digits. But I think a lot of that's going to be due to the cautions that we've seen so far.
I agree. Absolutely. These guys are getting lined up, and we're under, I told our official tonight that if we do have several back-to-back cautions, we may go single file, see if that helps these guys. But I mean, this track is just so incredibly loose, and they have the weather changing for these tracks now, so you can change the weather. We talked about for an April Fool's, Pete. I don't know if you heard us out there. Possibly doing some rain tonight, but we weren't going to torture the guys. We weren't going to go that far, but it would have been interesting to see how it handled out there. But fun so far. These guys, lap 14 of 180. A long race to go. Real, what's up? I hope you're doing great. It's been a wild one tonight so far. Lights are going down, and you can see the pace car lining everyone up. Still yet to go double file. In fact, you know what? I'm kind of curious if he put the single file in for right now.
I mean, single file is absolutely a great option. I've seen it before in other, leagues, clubs, or communities. Definitely helps, settle things down a little bit. They're not double wide. Could that have possibly saved this caution? Maybe, maybe not. We can't see the past, and we don't know what the future would have been. But Eliza, wouldn't it be interesting if all these guys were out there on treaded tires, like what we saw in Richmond in real life this past weekend? I think these guys would just be flat flying.
Oh, absolutely. A wild race in real life too, for sure. It's interesting to see how different it plays out on here compared to in real life. So it's always fun to experience both sides of it. But here we go, back to green. O'Brien with another great start here. Micah, he's going to be P2. Jackson on the inside. You can see him really sending it in. He's going to send Micah up the track. I don't know how much he will appreciate that. But we are off and running so far. A couple of guys hitting the wall. You can see it going all the way through the field, Pete.
Yeah, it looked like Tom Flitcroft as well as possibly Brody Falliker and maybe the 8 of Tom Flitcroft tagged the wall just a little bit. 81 absolutely shoved Michael all the way into the corner, did not let up. 81's able to push him up and out of the groove. Michael all over the back end of that 81 now, making him a little loose. Woo! One again of Brody Falliker tags the outside wall. First and second, no change.
I got a glimpse of John Honeycutt. It looked like he was getting loose out there. Let's take a look at what happened with him. You can see him trying to correct it. Hits the 34, his teammate of Jordan McGraw, and that just finishes him off and gets tagged by a couple of more cars. This is going to be an interesting night. I think a lot of drivers a little heated tonight. I can see that happening.
Yeah, 68 looks like he was kind of wiggling in the back end just a little bit. 50 was on the outside. And 50 just gets a little loose up and off the corner. Nowhere for Jordan McGraw to go. John Honeycutt hard into the inside wall.
Yeah, he limps it over to pit road. He's missing that entire front end. Really unfortunate here. Man, it's just going to be one of those nights for these drivers.
Well, I think what might unfortunately happen as the evening goes on, we're going to whittle down to, and it's going to take a lot of attrition. We'll have to see who's still standing when it's all said and done.
Yeah, remember, no faster pairs. We already have Jordan McGraw on pit road, Andrew Sanford, Dylan Robb, Brian Pizzikimi, Chuck Cody from earlier incident, John Honeycutt, Joshua. He's a rookie in here for this season, out here for a second race. Hunter Johnson, Riley Rosenbrook, PJ O'Leary, and Matthew Gale. All of these drivers on pit road, so interesting to see. Lap 19 of 180, so still a ton of racing left. Pete, how about you say we get John Honeycutt in here and maybe see how he's doing with his car?
Yeah, let's go.
We'll get him on the line and see if we can't talk to him out here, see how he's doing. Unfortunately,
yeah.
I think it might be a couple of minutes repair for him as he is missing his front end. But hopefully we can get some green flag laps in and kind of ease it out here. All right, let's get
all right.
him in.
There we go. Okay, John Honeycutt live in a booth now. Eliza, go ahead.
All right, Mr. John Honeycutt, we saw you get a little squirrely out there. Take us through how the car handling it is and what happened to you.
Was just trying to stay behind Thomas and kind of just lost it there. It's been a little loose off of 2, and it's been frustrating this season. So I was just trying to stay behind Thomas and keep the guys behind me, and I just got on the throttle just a little too much. I had it saved, but I guess Jordan just got into me just a little bit. He just couldn't check up with the 5 behind him, and got me squirrely. And I locked up the brakes. I was hoping I was going to be okay after I tapped the wall, and Jacob just caught the front end of my nose. So
Yeah,
that's the end of that. Yeah.
brutal for that. How much damage do you have tonight?
It's pretty much done. So
All right.
yeah, I had, was hoping for a really, really good night tonight, but I just got a little greedy on the throttle and spun the tires, and that's just how it goes. So
Well, hopefully better luck next time, but it was great seeing you out there. Yeah. That's the way
Yeah.
it's going to go tonight at Richmond, unfortunately, for a lot of these drivers. So, John, better luck next time, I know, for you.
yeah, I hear you. Take care, guys.
All right, take it easy.
Bye.
That was John out
back
there.
on down. Yep, go ahead.
Unfortunate night for him. Lap 22 of 180, and he says that he is out, but these guys are getting ready to go back to green once again. Matt O'Brien. Similar, same theme here. He's leading us back to green with Jackson directly behind. Dane behind him, sitting P3. We're going to have Micah in 4th. Man, can we get some green flag runs in? And so many drivers still hitting the wall, Pete.
Yeah, I saw the 8 of Tom Fleecroft absolutely pound that outside wall coming up and off the corner. Now he's to the outside of the 1 of Brody Falliker, Tom Harmon, Andrew Wisdom. Probably a little bit of a checkup moment for those guys. But the 1 and the 8 looks like they're going to be able to go single file. Same thing for Micah Allard. He finds the hole right behind the 81.
A lot of checking up throughout the field, trying to give guys room as they're trying to save it. I mean, it's just incredibly loose coming out of the corners. I'm hoping that heading into the night, it's going to add some more grip to the track, but I've heard from a few drivers that may not be the case. So I'm kind of curious how it's running. You heard John say that he just got on the throttle a little too aggressively and off he went, could not save it. But I do also want to say thank you guys for tuning in, and be safe out there. I know there's a ton of crazy weather. I'm about to receive some, and I know you guys are talking about it in chat, so be safe, and don't be afraid to head to that basement.
You know, it's kind of interesting, Eliza. I'm looking at some of the information regarding the track. It's only 74-degree track temp, 70-degree air. I wouldn't think that it would be this loose, maybe just a really, really green track as the 51 of Andrew Wisdom gets on by the 8 of Tom Flitcroft as we watch high from above.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. Man, a couple of drivers going straight to the wall. Very, very interesting, but trying to go wherever they can to keep their car clean and stay out of trouble. But you see Tom Flitcroft, P8. Justin Mons joining us out there. He's sitting at P9. And James Holzer up 14 spots from where he began tonight. Luke Allen is up 15 spots. And Brian Pizzichemi, he's P18. And he's up 18 spots from where he started.
Yeah, how about Jeff Byers pretty much staying steady in that 333 Chevrolet. Right now, P19 down 1 after starting 18th. Behind them, though, it's a whole lot of green. Jacob Palmer, he's up 14. Jacob Locklear up 12. The 37 up 9 spots in 22nd for Andrew Sanford. Frank Hamilton, he's up 4 in 23rd. Up 13 to 24th is going to be Chuck Cody. And then Dylan Robb, he's up 10 spots right now in P25.
Yeah, man, take a look at this pack out here. Very congested, and that's 67, missing completely the front end of his machine. So, unfortunately to see, but we're going to see a lot more of that tonight as these guys get probably a bit more aggressive as the night goes on and winds down. It looks like Jimmy Cocker, he's got all his car together, which is surprising considering what we saw earlier from him with the damage and the wreck that he was involved in.
Yeah, that number 11 Hokies machine for the one and only Jimmy Cocker. Season 1's Daytona winner. He opened up shake and bake here on iRacing with a W from Daytona. The guy has never looked back. He had a phenomenal season 2. He's hoping to be able to pick some of that magic back up here in season 3. But right now at a very dismal 27th, not quite where he's used to running.
Not where he's used to running, but I will not be surprised if we see him come back up here. There'll be a couple more cautions to catch him up. Right now we're on board our leader, Matt O'Brien, in that 43 machine. Here's the view. Looking back, we see Jackson Glenn Austin, P2. Dane Cruz is going to be P3, and Brody Falliker still hanging out in the top 5, sitting P4. Andrew Wisdom, he's going to round out the top 5 in that 51 machine, doing a great job, up 7 spots from where he started.
Yeah, and Tom Harmon forever in that Avril Lavigne number 68 Camaro, the 17 of James Holzer. Holzer, watching him during qualifying, he was loose everywhere. There wasn't a single part of the track that he was feeling stable in, and here he is. Maybe got some great advice from his team or whatnot, not 100% sure. And Tom Flickerhoff staying solidly inside the top 10. But a great single file race now, Eliza. So I think we're going to get a lot of green flag laps in. It's feeling pretty good. This is really the time where you're minding your tires. You're trying to maybe save a little bit of fuel if you're working any kind of that strategy. And this is where you can attack the rest of your competition once you get a few laps under your belt.
On board with Brendan Book, and he's got a little company, Justin Mons, going side by side with him for several laps, trying to take over that position. That's for P10 right there. He's going to tuck him behind, and you see Cody Kalinka in that 79 machine. He's going to be P12, and he's going to dive down low underneath the 41 of Mons, try to take over that position and get out in front. But yeah, Pete, so far we are seeing these guys, for the most part, single file. I think they realize, these cars are not going to last if we continue to race them like it's the last lap every lap. So these guys starting to settle down just a little bit. Possibly Justin Mons into the wall, maybe a little bit. I heard a little bit of contact, but some of these guys getting loose. The other guys getting pretty tight. If you're overdriving it, you're going to head into the wall.
Yeah, tagged the rear just a little bit, scrubbed a little bit of paint off. Not too bad. These tanks, or these cars, I should say. A lot of people say they're built like tanks. They can take a whooping and keep on going. That 79, Cody Kalinka not letting up off that number 41 Camaro, just ahead. And behind them, I believe that's going to be the 00 of Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, and then Luke Allen just a little ways back.
Yeah, take a look at that. These guys starting to spread out quite a bit. And right behind that 7 machine is going to be Matt Burgess, and he's got Brian Pizzikimi directly behind him. So any of these guys can make up spots at any point. But the most important thing you're going to have to do, save the tires and make sure this is a definite rhythm track. These guys are shifting. They're going to have to go down to 4th. You get such a huge run in the front stretch there. You have to make sure that you get the car woed down. Otherwise, you will spin it out. I mean, it's just kind of treacherous out here, Pete. You would think they were on ice at some points. Oh, absolutely. And talking about saving the tires, that is absolutely something that you have to do. Because if you start getting into the corner and the car won't turn, you're going to want you're going to want to crank just a little bit more wheel in, and then you realize, oh no, I'm too slow, I'm losing time. You start to get back on the throttle, and oh, by the way, here comes the back end passing you as you're going backwards. But a lot of great single file racing, Eliza. These guys doing a phenomenal job. How about Jeff No from Yadkinville? Yeah, sitting P17. You see, he is leading this pack of cars. And like I said, P17 for him. Jose right behind him, 18th. And Francis Hamilton diving it down low underneath Jose. Jose says, you know what, take it. I'm not trying to go anywhere right now. I'm just saving my stuff. And he takes over that 18th spot. We have Jeff Byers, who is sitting out there, P20. A lot of guys in this pack. And you're going to have Jacob Locklear in 21st spot, up 12 positions from where he started. Caution is going to go ahead and fly. This will be the 4th caution on the evening. Looks like the 5 of Brendan Book
facing the wrong way. He's definitely going to have something to say about this yellow.
Man, getting loose going into the corner. No one touched him. Kind of a weird spot to get loose at, but let's go ahead and take a look, see if we can't get another view of what happened to him.
I think
he just turns it and
yeah. I was thinking maybe he downshifted earlier or something like that, and whole car just went for a ride.
Does a good job of getting it woed down, getting it geared down, and everyone just goes around him. So great job by these guys. Unfortunate to him, but doesn't look like any damage, so he should be good to go. Moving on, but that is not a mistake that we usually see from Brendan Book. He's had a rough time this season also, so we'll see if he can't get that turned around. Yeah,
that was kind of strange just to start to turn left and the whole car breaks loose on him. I thought maybe he downshifted or something like that, but again, that's not a mistake that we would expect out of Brendan Book. But 46 laps in, fourth caution on the evening of 180. Eliza, that was a great green flag run right there.
It was, and I hope we see a few more of those. Lap 46 of 180. So far, our top 4 drivers have yet to go in. James Holzer, though, take a look at that. He has gone a couple of times and already sitting P5. So pretty incredible. Andrew Wisdom has not gone in. Harmon, Micah, they have not gone in. So we'll see what these guys do here.
Yeah, Matt O'Brien, looks like Dane Cruz, Jackson, Glenn Austin, Brody Fowler, and James Holzer. With brand new rubber, as well as it looks like all the way back to P9 Cody Kalinka. Looks like lap 45 was the magic number where everybody felt they had to come on down and maybe get a little bit fixed up, grab some fuel, grab some tires, and come on back out there. But now, Eliza, you got to wonder, and even maybe worry a little bit. Brand new tires, like you got to get used to the car all over again.
See what these guys can do out here. I'm already getting another notification about Brendan Book crashing a couple of times. I gotta go see this. Let's take a look. Just going slow underneath, so it looks like they're just being a little sensitive on the settings here, but he looks to be good. Just taking it easy. Matt O'Brien. That is consistent tonight, Pete. How about that? Leading every single lap so far here tonight. That's incredible.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, Jackson Glenn Austin, he's shown that he can get up there with the leaders ever since joining Shake and Bake. But how about Dane Cruz right now, sitting P2? The guy, started P5, I believe, and he's already going to say, hey, I can get up there and challenge with the rest of you as well. But it's going to be interesting what Cruz actually brings to the series. So far, it's looks like quite a bit of action.
Quite a bit of action, quite a bit of speed. Tonight, these guys are just in for it. An uphill battle to climb as we take on Richmond Raceway. We've already had one short track, and it was Bristol. And I don't think it was as brutal as this. And then we take them to Coda, which is a challenging track in itself. I mean, a very technical track. You have to maneuver around. And then tonight, Richmond. Next week, we're going to have Texas. So another oval in our future mile and a half there. So should be a fun one. I'm looking forward to it, but we got to get through tonight first there, Pete.
Yeah, we do. Lights, top, the pace car are out. Again, the 43, he's going to be the first one in the loud pedal. New driver, too, is outside. Again, talking about the 81 Toyota for Dane Cruz. Jackson Glenn Austin, Brody Fowler are going to be P3, P4. James Holzer up 19 spots for P5. Eliza, green flag.
I don't know how James does it, but man, not a good start for Dane. He falls back a little bit, checks everyone up just a smidge there, but Matt O'Brien off and running, Jackson in second, Dane in third, and we're going to have these guys stacked double wide going back in about P5, P6, so things start to get interesting right there as they fight for position.
Yeah, fighting for position, 68, 51, making a little bit of contact. 51's going to go on up, able to save it, not tag the outside wall. I'm sure the 68 of Tom Harmon said, hey, man, I apologize. But Micah Allard down 4 spots right now, sitting P7. He's riding the rim.
Yeah, these guys, and you've seen a couple of them hitting the walls as they're coming out of the exits. So they're going to have to be careful of that, not do anything to the toe link there or on the quarter panel. We'll see what they do, but so far we have Andrew Wisdom still running, Thomas Harmon still out there running. Looks like we may have had a crash in there, Pete. I don't know this. You know how sensitive this software can be, so we'll see. But the caution is out once again. See who it involves.
Yeah, it looked like Brendan Booker and Kevin Dallas were before this caution actually flew. And then Frank Hamilton, looks like might have something to do with this one.
Yeah, I want to get a different view on that one. Looks like contact between him and Jacob Locklear. Yeah, he just goes up a little too far. Jacob Locklear, nowhere to go, unfortunately. So gets some right front or left front damage on his machine there. Unfortunately, he's got to go in and repair that one.
Yeah, 2 of the last 3 cautions have been due to some crowding up by the wall. You can't fit 2 or 3 cars that close together. It's just not going to work. Either netcode's going to get you, or just those fenders rubbing is going to bring you closer and closer together.
See if we can't get Mr. O'Brien in here. I know he was expecting a few cautions. We'll see how he's feeling out there. I mean, he's looking fantastic. So let's see if we can get him in the booth here. Mr. O'Brien, it is Eliza in the booth. How you doing?
Good.
You have led every single lap out here. How's your car feeling? And did you think that we're going to see this treacherous of a track tonight?
I did NAS, so I kind of knew what I was getting in for. But, I mean, I feel fine. So.
Well, that's what matters. We'll see if you can't keep it clean.
Yeah, I'm not really pushing it, so.
All right.
Matt,
well, what do you...
Matt, speaking of pushing it, you've had a couple of different guys come on up to your back bumper to challenge you, the 21 and the 81 as well. James Holzer has also worked his way up to P4. Who are you looking for to come from behind to make you play the biggest role of defense?
Holzer probably, and Andrew, and Tom, and Thomas Harmon.
All right, but well, as always, we definitely wish you a whole lot of... Go ahead, sir.
No, I just said thanks, or whatever, yeah.
All right, man. Well, we definitely wish you a whole lot of luck. I see the lights atop the pace car are still on. Go get them. You've led every single lap so far, whether green or yellow flag. That Dollar Tree Camry is looking pretty good under the lights tonight, sir.
Yep, thank you.
You got it.
All right, and that was Matthew O'Brien leading every single lap. He says his car feels great. I'm sure others are wishing that they felt the same, but man, a lot of these mistakes though, Pete, we've seen, like you said, some overcrowding, some of them just getting loose, and that just goes with the track here, but I feel like some of them, if we can clean that up a little bit, we'll get another nice green flag run here.
Absolutely. I got to wonder if Matt O'Brien in this number 43 feeling really good is just because of all the clean air that he's had. We haven't had a long enough green flag run for him to catch any lap traffic and have to deal with that. He's just been able to run his line. He proved in practice and in qualifying he's got a bad, fast Toyota. So we'll have to see how he does if we do get that long green flag run. But I'm happy for our new points leader. Usually he's very, very hard on himself and any mistakes that he might make. But right now, no mistakes so far.
He's looking good, looking solid. No mistakes, as you say. Hopefully we do not give him the jinx out here, but they're getting ready. Ready to go back to green. We'll see if we can't keep it green for a little bit, but tell us what you think. Who do you think is going to win tonight? Lap 57 of 180. We still have a while to go, and these guys have been wild so far. But Jackson, Glenn Austin in second. Dane Cruz sitting P3. James Holzer. You heard Matt O'Brien anxiously awaiting his arrival, but we're off to green. Matt O'Brien looking strong as ever. 3 wide, and that's going to be for about P4 or 5. Still 3 wide, Pete. That is crazy out there.
Absolutely. The 17 of James Holzer wrapping the high side, trying to get all over the passenger door of that 81, almost bringing him around. 17 making a whole lot of hay, coming across the start stripe, taking P3.
Yeah, the 68 of Harmon got into the wall. I don't know if he had any choice in the matter, but he is going to fall back, and we have a couple of drivers. Let's see if we can't see if they managed to save it. Tom Flitcroft, I saw that he got sideways. Let's see if we can't find out where he ended up. 26. He is still trying to make his way around. I don't know if it's going to bring out a caution, but we are still going. And they're going to quickly make their way up to him, and he is going to go a lap down, Pete.
Yeah, he's easily going to go a lap down as he gets all the way down on the apron underneath the yellow, staying out of the traffic of all the leaders. Big props to driver number 8.
Leaders still on the way. Matthew O'Brien leading this entire pack. He's got a 2-man dance for the lead. Jackson Glenn Austin directly behind him, and here comes James Holzer. He's going to try to take over P2 as he makes it up to the back bumper.
Yeah, James Holzer all over, as you said, the back bumper of this Monster Energy number 1. Jackson, very, very fast, started outside pole. Dane Cruz right now, he's also up 1 spot right now running P4. The last week's winner, driver of that number 51, Andrew Wisdom, sorry about that, looking at a couple of different things here, but Holzer definitely applying some pressure.
Yeah, he definitely is. Let's go back on board with him. You can see him right on the back bumper of that 21 machine. We'll see what he can do out here sitting P3, but Dane Cruz, he is going to be on his back bumper. So these guys nose to tail as they make their way up to 64 of 180.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, for Dane Cruz, if he's watched any of the past seasons or any of the past race broadcasts, he knows that James Holzer is clearly one of the best in Shake and Bake. So if there's going to be any guy that you're going to stay behind and maybe go to school off of a little bit, it would either be the guy behind or the guy right in front.
Absolutely. Matt O'Brien starting to gain a little bit of a gap between him and second. We'll see what that gap is as he makes his way around just under half a second. We have James Holzer under just over half a second. So these guys still very much tight. We have a guy on pit road. We'll see who that is. Hamilton, Zaff, and Flitcroft still on pit road trying to fix his damage after an earlier incident that did not bring out the caution. And knock on wood, I want to see it go green. I want to see green flag pit stops out here. See what they can do, see their strategy, but we're having some competition for P2, and it's going to be Jackson Glenn Austin and James Holzer.
Yeah, Glenn Austin kind of tagging the outside wall just a little bit. He's been keeping the 17 of James Holzer kind of pinched on the bottom side. That 21 absolutely wrapping that line between the bottom and the second groove. Really, the 17 has no choice but to let up. It's not allowing him to open up the wheel and carry all that speed up and off across the start stripe side by side.
Man, letting them know, hey, I'm here and I'm going to take over this position. Holzer squeezes him up to the top. They are still side by side. Jackson saying, you know what, I'm not scared. Let's go. We're going to go for this battle in seconds. And we have Dane Cruz right behind him, kind of checking things out. You know, he's in a spot where if something happens to him, he very much could get included in that incident. So he's going to have to watch where he goes. And I'm with him. Give him a little bit of space. Make sure he's safe.
Holzer a little loose, 21 still outside. What's really interesting, these guys battling door to door. They have not lost a whole lot of time to the 43 of Matt O'Brien. Usually Matt would be looking in his rear view, loving what he sees, but just the 17 guiding that Camaro on the bottom. 21's going to finally lose the spot, or says, you know what, it's not worth scrubbing that much out of my tires. Is he going to try to cross over?
Man, a huge run by Andrew Wisdom. Take a look at that. He really got in there, and he knows what he's doing in that line, doing a great job. We have a 5-man pack for this front pack. Meanwhile, Micah is going to lead the second pack, and he is trying to make his way up there. He's got Brody Falliker directly behind, Cody Kalinka, and then a little ways back, we're going to have Justin Mons on his own little island. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, he's going to lead this third pack, and that's going to be for P10, Thomas Harmon. He's going to be at 11th after falling back a little earlier on. Luke Allen's going to try to take over that spot, take it too wide. Little bit close. It could have been some contact, but they are still moving.
Absolutely. Then, of course, we got Matt Burgess in that number 12 A&W machine. And then Jimmy Cocker able to fight his way up. Eliza, you said it. We weren't going to see him back in 26th very long. Jimmy Cocker up to P14.
Yeah, we have 15th is going to be Brian. He was just battling it out with Jordan McGraw, gaining that spot as Jordan falls back to 16th. Jeff, no, great to see him out here. Sometimes he just has bad luck. And tonight he's sitting P17, still on the track. So I'm sure he will take it. Jose in 18th, Andrew Sanford in 19th, Jacob Locklear. A rough night for him. We've seen him involved in a couple of things. Unfortunately, nothing he can do about it, but here he is. Dylan, he is out here 21st, up 14 spots from where he started with Jeff Byers. Right behind him in 22nd. Caution is out once again.
Yeah, it looks like Kevin Dallatorre is going to have something to do with this yellow, but 6th caution on the evening, working lap 75.
Missing his entire front end in the same situation that we saw Brennan Book. He just gets on that yellow right there, and it just pulls his car around. No one else involved, luckily enough, but unfortunately for him, it's going to cost him some time, and man, his car is looking a little naked out front.
Yeah, completely. Looks like the entire front bumper was sheared off that Yingling machine as he was able to, for the most part, save it, though, Eliza. Didn't add to the damage that he had and didn't really collect anybody else. Good job.
Yeah, he did a great job saving that for sure. Lap 76 of 180. Man, it's been a race. I'll tell you what, we have several drivers out. Tom Flitcroft down 14 laps and a lot of drivers out beside him. A ton of drivers going on to pit lane. Lap 76, we have all of our leaders, and Brody Falliker going to go up to the front. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer and Luke Allen all going to stay out here.
Yeah, a whole new list of players at the top. Like you said, Brody Falliker, Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, Luke Allen, Matt O'Brien, Jackson Glenn Austin, Micah Allard, Dane Cruz, Tom Harmon, Jordan McGraw, and Cody Kalinka. So it's a few of the people that we talked about that were from like 5th through 15th, now kind of from 5th through 10th. And it's going to be interesting to see what Brody Falker in that number 1 Team FIWB Esports Camaro is going to do with the lead. How long is he going to be able to hold off the freshest tires, which, oh, by the way, will be starting P4?
The top 8 right now have 31 lap old tires, so we're going to see how they do start off. Most of the entire field did go in, so interesting call for these top 8 drivers. We'll see what goes on behind that, see if we can get some insight of what's going on. It's not really showing me, but yeah, interesting call. We'll see how the start is. See if they spin the tires. That is really the unfortunate part about not going in, but you do gain a point for leading a lap. So if you can remain out there, lead that lap, you'll get an extra point for you.
Or is Brody Falker thinking, as you said earlier, Eliza, cautions breed cautions? We're going to go back green about lap 80. So I'd like to think that we're going to get a really, really decent green flag run in. I don't know if the guys in the admin tower have decided to go single file. I would think not after a decent little green flag run right there. So Brody Falker with Jonathan Jurgensmeyer to his outside. These top 2 might have something to prove.
Yeah, I would say definitely. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, he's newer out here, so great to see him out there doing a fabulous job so far. Luke Allen, we've seen him have kind of a rough start to the race, but he is out here out front. But take a look. James Holzer, already P4 after going in, so it's just the top 3 drivers that did stay out for sure. Matt O'Brien, he's going to be right behind. James Holzer did beat him out, so Matt O'Brien is going to have to fight for that position, and that could get a little tricky, especially with these drivers that are on those older tires. That's going to be something we're going to have to look out for.
Absolutely. The braking zones are going to be completely different. Being able to get back in the throttle is going to be different because they've got to wait a little bit longer for the car to rotate and then also get grip. So it's, yeah, it's the top 3 Falker, Jurgensmeyer, and Allen that chose not to come down pit road on lap 76. Are they going to spin them? Are they going to have a problem? Are they going to be able to keep it clean and green? I don't know, but Holzer beating the 43 off of pit road. This will be the first time that Matt O'Brien is going to have any kind of dirty air on the hood of that Dollar Tree Camaro or Toyota.
Yeah, we'll see how he handles that for sure. But a lot of these drivers can start in first gear, but I don't know if I'd suggest it at this point. Brody Falliker starts this off, gets a great start. We have Jonathan Jurgensmeyer on the outside. James Holzer all over the back bumper, already trying to take over that P2 spot as he takes the high side. Caution, back out. Something happening in the back. And it's going to be Brendan Book. Unfortunate night for him. I'm not sure what happened, but let's take a look. Gets into the rear. Brian Pizzichimi goes down low. Man, oh man. Brutal conditions out here. I'd say this is the toughest race of the season so far, Pete.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said earlier, some guys were kind of comparing it to the challenge that Phoenix was to the series and kind of feeling like it was on dirt a little bit. But yeah, the 5 coming across the nose of the 67, really having a horrible night in that National Guard number 5.
Got to be a frustrated Brendan Book out here. Now it looks like that he did try to keep it off of Brian Pizzichimi, and in doing that, locked up the brakes, and that's going to be the end of that because in these cars on this track, you cannot lock up the brake without absolutely losing it. And once you do, there's really no saving it. So just an unfortunate night for Brendan once again. I know he was frustrated out there in the last couple of races. Tonight will be no different, but Brody Falliker, he's going to remain in that lead.
Absolutely. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer able to hold on. James Holzer is going to jump up to P3. Luke Allen is going to be pushed back 1 spot, and then Jackson Glenn Austin back into the top 5. Eliza, I'm kind of curious. Do you think that a lot of these guys were thinking that this race wasn't going to go green long enough to where they were going to have green flag pit stops, so they weren't too worried about their brake bias? So if they had to get on the brakes for any avoidance, that's what's going on with these cars coming around anytime they get on the binders. It's just kind of interesting. You know, we normally don't see Brendan Book go sideways if he has to get on a brake, but I think that's twice now.
It is, yeah. And what's funny here is that you need the brake bias in order to turn the car and get it. When you're trying to woe it down and you're using the brakes, you have to get that turnability. But then, you know, if you have a situation where you do need a checkup, or you check up a little too much heading into a corner, that brake bias has to be higher so that you're not wrecking loose. And unfortunately, the happy medium is just really, really hard to find here tonight. So a lot of these drivers do have it higher, but some of these drivers are really testing the limits, and you can see it. They may have that brake bias lower, and it's causing them to break loose going into the corners, or as they need to brake for missing other drivers.
Yeah, I mean, these cars, they're not very well known for stopping to begin with. So, and I can see adjusting a little bit more so you're able to get onto a pit road without blowing past your stall or something like that. But that's it's definitely something that has to be adjusted. And there is limited availability to be able to adjust those in car, but a lot of it is done during practice.
Absolutely. RCIC out there, I hope not 10, but we are quickly approaching that number. And if you are out there and you want to take a look at WoodyxCA, be sure to click on that link, go over to his channel, give him a follow. And when he's live, be sure to tell him that Pete and I sent you over. He does NASCAR Heat, Warzone, you name it. He's a lot of fun over there. Tell him hi, show him some love, and come back over.
Yeah, I think the last time I checked in on Woody, he was playing Forza, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
All right.
But yeah, it's pretty cool to actually sit there and talk to him and see what he's got going on. He's a great guy and a great sponsor of Shake and Bake.
Absolutely. Lap 86, we're getting ready to go to 87. These guys are getting ready to go back green. Brody Falliker once again the leader, and man, gets a fantastic start. James Holzer, take a look at his start. That's incredible as he blinks out of existence and back in. He is already trying to take over that spot. Dives it down low, and he's going to be underneath Brody. Takes it to the high side, switching position after position. These guys are off and running, Pete.
Absolutely. It's 21 of Glenn Austin, really challenging the 17. Thought about maybe trying to keep him pinned down yet again. 17 is going to try the high side around the 1. Just does not quite have the heat or the grip in the tires to make that happen. The 51, here comes Andrew Wisdom right now up to P4. Matt O'Brien being pushed back yet again, back to P6.
Yeah, he makes it switch back up to P5 as they go side by side, and you have Micah behind with Luke Allen, who is going side by side, and that's for P8 for Luke Allen, up 21 spots, so a great run for him so far. Don't want to jinx it, but these guys doing great. Dane Cruz 9th, and you saw him up here earlier on in the top 3, so we'll see if we can't get him back up here.
I'll tell you what, the 7 of Luke Allen, he is now finding out what staying out on lap 45 is doing. He restarted up inside the top 3. Right now, he is all the way back to P9. But still, it's a positive gain for him, up 20 spots on the evening. Right ahead of him, the 61, the 81, the 43. 43 still losing spots. Caution's out.
Caution out once again, Brian Pizzikimi, Jacob Locklear once again. Let's take a look, see if we can find out what happened. Starts with Jacob possibly getting into the 37. I do believe that is going to be Andrew Sanford. Let's have a re-look at that. Man, tough.
Yeah, it looks like maybe the Locklear caught the 37 just slightly on the fender and tried to check up, tried to save it, and just got hit from behind.
Yeah, I'm not sure there was much he could do about that. He was down low, and I think Andrew Sanford possibly thought he was clear. Maybe Jacob came up a little bit, but man, just extremely close. That is, I'm going to do a Joey Logano and say that's short track racing right there.
Why not? I haven't heard that once yet this weekend, and I thought for sure when I saw Denny Hamlin win last night, there was going to be some kind of a comment there or some kind of comment in Discord all week long, and I didn't see it once. How about that?
That is so true. RC says I'm getting the Baku vibes. Man, that was a brutal race. Also, this definitely how this race is going. We knew it was going to be a challenge. Officials this week were riddled with cautions every 10 to 20 laps, so seems to be no different tonight. We knew it was going to be a challenge, but boy, oh boy, this is wild, guys. Under the lights here, you would think it would have some more grip, but it's been wild. A lot of cars missing those front ends. A lot of drivers, unfortunately, out of the race, going to take a hit in the points, and this is a season where we have no playoffs. It runs straight through from start to finish. So every race matters. It counts. There's no reset. So you have to make sure that you get all the points you can.
Absolutely. I mentioned it in pre-race. I watched the top split, and those are guys, 6, 7, 8, 9K I rating, and they had the same issue with the cautions. So we'll have to see how the rest of the race unfolds. But Richmond has not been kind this week.
We have James Holzer in the lead. Brody Falliker going to be in second. Jackson is going to be P3. Andrew Wisdom up 8 spots. Matthew O'Brien's going to find his way up to P5 with Micah directly behind. And Jonathan in that double O is going to be in 7th. See how they start off here. Lap 94 of 180. Still a lot of racing left, Pete.
Absolutely. So Eliza, if you're up in the admin tower and you're thinking, okay, this is 3 cautions in a row, when do you pull the trigger on single file restarts?
We try not to. We don't want to interfere. We don't want to, make a mess of things or annoy the drivers, if you will. But there comes a point, where if you think it is going to clean things up, I'm doing it probably after 3 back-to-back cautions. And I mean, it's got to be cautions where you don't even get 2 laps in. If you're doing that 3 times, I'm going to say let's go single file, see how it works itself out. We've done it in the past and it seemed to work pretty well, but Richmond is just one of those places where the conditions are just ripe for people to get loose, get into each other, and we've seen it time and time again so far.
Some people still on pit road, some people several laps down. But James Holzer, the man that joins usually weekly during qualifying, up 23 spots to take the leading position of the number 1, Brody Falliker, who was very, very fast at the end of last season. Looks like so far able to carry the momentum off. Pace car is going down the backstretch. He's got the field 2 by 2 all the way behind. Everybody racked and stacked. Back up, Eliza. We're going to go back green momentarily.
26 drivers on that lead lap. So that's a pretty fair amount. Almost 40 drivers in the field. So a ton of drivers. We're getting ready to go back to green. James Holzer leading us off. Brody going to be on the outside, and James leads us. Gets a nice start there. Brody Falliker not too far behind. He's going to get a little bit of a nudge from Andrew Wisdom there, 21. He is going to go side by side with Brody Falliker. We are off and running. Matthew O'Brien side by side with Micah all the way through the field, 2 by 2.
Yeah, Andrew Wisdom counting his blessings right now, because when the 51 had to check up, the 61 had to do the same. A little bit of an accordion effect, but they were able to sort it all out. Now the 51 down in front of the 43. 61's going to take the high side with the 1 right ahead. Holzer looking at everything in his rear view.
Yeah, he's got a nice gap, about a half a second gap between him and second, and the rest of them are just on top of each other, and it goes all the way back to, let's see, about Matt Burgess, and then we have kind of a separation between Thomas Harmon and Jeff No. But besides that, these guys are just on top of each other, still 2 by 2 all the way through the field. Jacob Locklear back out here, Brian back out here, Andrew in that set 37, Jeff Byers. It's a crowded field.
That 55, TJ's team looks like Ford Mustang. It was a Ford Knights or something like that. Jeff, very, very active on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. Big NC State fan. Able to beat Duke last night. The guy was in tears talking about their win and how special it was. Congratulations to Jeff No and his NC State Wolfpack for getting it done.
Heck yeah. I love the competitiveness of these guys and all the teams that all these drivers cheer for. You gotta love it. You see it all over X, and it's fun to watch them.
Absolutely. 68 of Tom Harmon right in front of him, then they're double wide.
You can see it right here. Still a lot of drivers. Double wide, as you say. Micah, Brody Falliker is going to be another one of these battles. And you've seen it lap after lap. Neither one of them are giving up. And the 81 is trying to take a full advantage. If anyone makes a mistake, that is Dane Cruz directly behind him. Brody Falliker going to fall back a spot. And now he's going to go side by side with Dane Cruz. We'll see what Matthew O'Brien can do. I know he was feeling good earlier on. Does he feel the same way out in traffic?
Yeah, that dirty, that's what I was talking about just a little bit ago. But the 81, again, Dane Cruz really impressing me. He's got the 1 to his outside, really able to get on the binders, wrap that yellow line all the way through, get back in the throttle. Don't really see a whole lot of movement out of the back end of the thing. Matt O'Brien right up his trumpet, still side by side going into 3.
Side by side, we're on board with Dane Cruz as he just hugs that bottom line. You can see James Holzer way out front, just an incredible run for him. And you see Dane going down to 4th gear out there. He'll throttle it up, going straight, and put that back into 5th as, well, he's going to stay in 4th. So we'll see if he gets back up into 5th on the front stretch here.
Yeah, Holzer absolutely extending the lead. It seems like whenever James Holzer gets that clean air, he makes the most of it. And usually when that happens and he can't be caught, is the 51 and the 61, they're going to tango. 51's hard at the outside wall and gets tagged by a couple more.
See what happens with him. Micah directly below him. I don't know if he expected that. Gets up into him a little bit after touching the yellow. Tries to brake to miss the wall. Unfortunately, nothing he can do. And as Pete says, chaos ensues after that with getting tagged a few more times.
Very, very unfortunate, and it sounds like through Team Comms, 51 is saying that is going to be an evening. So last week's celebratory winner from Coda, this week not so much.
Unfortunate end for him as he was doing a great job. I mean, he had a run up front here. We see Micah go in, James go in, most of these guys going in. Jackson decides to stay out along with Justin Mons. Jose, we have he decides to stay out also along with Jeff Byers. So a couple of drivers choosing to stay out. Let's take a look at their tires and see 31 lap old tires. That seems to be the theme when these guys stay out. It's in the 30s.
Yeah, you'd have to figure that they saw what happened to those earlier that fell back, that stayed out after lap 45. They were P15, P16 within 3 laps, but it could just be Jackson, Glenn Austin, and Justin Mons wanting to get on out there, get some points maybe. We'll have to see if Jackson, Glenn Austin comes on down pit road second time. Maybe missed, I don't know. But Jose Ruiz staying out there also right now, P3, and then Jeff Byers going to round out those that did not come down lap 107.
A lot of points going to be shaken up for the standings here. Some drivers going to be taking some hits and others going to be moving about as they are able to stay out here. We knew Richmond was going to take a couple of cars with it, but man, oh man, it's pretty wild tonight, Pete. How many cars do you think we're going to see out?
Oh boy. Well, we started with 38. Right now, I think we're down to 23, 24, right around there. So this isn't Dover. There's no Miles the Monster just crushing cars. It's just a very, very loose racetrack. It seems like when we get that long green flag feel, it's pretty good. And then, until it's not.
You have that right. That is for sure. Jackson Glenn Austin, we're going to see him leading the field as we go back to green. It's lap 110 of 180. RC Action says number 10 yet. We're not there yet. I hope we don't get there, but we're on the 9th caution of the night. I think we're going to get there, unfortunately. Richmond, last season, we saw 5 cautions. We've definitely surpassed that. But man, what a difference a season makes. Grip is definitely less. Loose, man. Loose is fast, but man, this is crazy loose, Pete.
They say loose is fast and on the edge of out of control. Well, we've definitely seen a little bit of out of control this evening. I'm really thinking that the 21 Monster Machine is staying out just to see what his car will be like in the clean air. He saw the 17 of Holzer get on up there and pull away. He's never had what he has right now. He's going to be the first one on that loud pedal. Can he extend that as well? We've seen him be fast since joining Shake and Bake. This is going to be his biggest test of the night.
Oh, for sure. Jackson going to be leading us off. Justin Mons, you see him on that outside. He is raring to go, absolutely. So we'll see what he can do. These guys do have older tires. We'll see how their restart goes. But man, stacked through the field. James Holzer is going to be P5. Micah going to be 6th. Dane Cruz in 7th. Matt O'Brien back there in 8th. So once again, these guys dealing with traffic on fresh tires compared to those that are not.
21 nails the gas and able to pull away from Justin Mons. Either that or Justin Mons maybe on a little bit of sleeper mode, but 3 wide behind Mons.
3 wide behind Mons, and let's go up there to that battle. Jeff Byers, Micah Allard is going to completely lose it as we're coming off the exit. Matt involved, Jordan McGraw involved, several drivers, Thomas Harmon, Dylan Robb. Let's go back and see what happened here, man. It's tough. It is very, very tough out here as these guys are getting loose off the exit. You're going 3 wide. Not a lot of room for error, and we keep seeing that over and over again.
I tell you what, I think the green on that Dollar Tree 43 is luck because he just got missed by the 61 going right behind his bumper. Very, very close for our points leader.
A couple of drivers, different incidences out there that wrecked. We're going to look at this one with Thomas Harmon. There's Micah getting loose, and Thomas Harmon just has nowhere to go. He's going to fly up into Jeff No and just complete chaos.
Yeah, 61 wicked loose. The one is able to get on by 68, and Jeff No, like you just said, sends Jeff No up to the outside wall. Only make contact with the right rear. The 16 of Rob able to lock it down, right as well as the 84. 39 heavily damaged from an earlier incident, but man, yeah, a lot of cars caught up in that one.
A lot of cars caught up, and David says, "Dang it, Wisdom was my pick. Now I got nothing." I don't know, Pete. We've seen how this race has gone. Who's been strong? Who's struggled? Who's your pick to win?
Well, I picked Jackson Glenn Austin earlier in the race, and right now he's kind of leading. He's got that bonus point in his pocket. Justin Mons is right there with him. They've both chosen not to come on down pit road, but just in that lap and a half, 2 laps, Jeff Byers and Jose Ruiz were kicked a couple spots back by James Holzer and Dane Cruz. So Dane Cruz showing a lot of speed, showing a little bit of skill. Can he get on up there with the 17? Follow him through. We'll have to see. But Jackson Glenn Austin, he's not going to be able to stay there forever. He's going to have to come on down at some point, and there's a lot of hungry tires behind him.
Yeah, there are. And we're on 40-lap-old tires almost for these drivers. So they're definitely going to feel it as we go to restart and once the laps get moving, if we can stay green. But it's been a continuous theme, just constantly getting loose coming out of the exit. I'm kind of curious, would have it been better if we had the rain and on those rain tires?
Hey, absolutely. Let's get some tires with some real caps on them and send them out here. I'm sure they're gonna feel like Superman every single lap. But getting closer and closer to 60 laps to go, I'd like to see a really good long green flag feel or green flag run. See who's got what. See who can race the track, end their competition, work their way up, and grab a great podium spot.
Couple of drivers still on pit road trying to fix that damage. Joshua Vidal and that 27, Kevin Dallator and the 92, and PJ O'Leary and the 24 goes to pit road. Thomas Harmon, we saw him involved in that. He is back out on track, sitting P4, so it didn't seem to affect him too terribly much, luckily enough. But Justin Mons, we see him up front next to Jackson as we get ready to go green.
Absolutely. Again, all racked and stacked back up. Lights atop the pace car are out. Going to go ahead and make that left turn towards pit road after going down in the backstretch. Justin Mons, just a part-time driver in his Camaro. The 21, he's been solid ever since joining SnB. Holzer, of course, league veteran and champion, right along with a newcomer, driver 81 of Dane Cruz to his outside. We're going green.
We're going green, and Joe Turkey says, shout out to Dart Motorsports drivers Luke Allen and Kevin running this thing out. Wish I could have raced. Wish you could have been here also. Jackson having a great start. James Holzer going to go out here in second, and man, it looks like some trouble. I saw a couple of cars falling back. We have Brian Pizzikimi in that mix that we saw fall back. 3 wide going through just a little bit, but now trying to get 2 wide and possibly single file, but these guys are still off and running.
Absolutely off and running. 17 of Holzer off and running, just barely getting into the left rear of the 21 of Jackson Glenn Austin. 17's got the line, 21 up in that second groove. 41 of Justin Mons going to try to follow through. They're going to be side by side up and off the corner. 21 trying to stay there.
Wow, Justin Mons almost loses it off the corner, but saves it. Now he's going to go side by side with Dane Cruz. Jeff Byers going to be right behind. Matthew O'Brien is going to try to take full advantage, and we have some cars disappearing here. Where did they go? Who knows? But Brody Falliker right behind, side by side with Cody Kalinka.
Yeah, how about that 333? Jeff Byers having a great night in this Pantera machine. 43 of Matt O'Brien able to get on by. Here comes the one again of Brody Falliker. Cody Kalinka having a great night as well. Solidly inside the top 10. That Hooters machine just gets better and better.
Justin Mon struggling with the blinking issue out here. We'll see how that affects the drivers around him. But Matt O'Brien trying to make his way back up to the front. Led a ton of laps earlier on. We'll see if he can't make his way back up there. But Justin Mons, Matthew O'Brien has reeled him in. He's going to go underneath, try to make that pass. See Mons trying to take it easy as he knows he was blinking. Matthew O'Brien going to make it through. He's going to be P4. Justin Mons, P5. Brody Falliker going to try to follow O'Brien through. We'll see if he can't make it. It's going to be close as these guys are still too wide.
Yeah, this is what happens when you stay out. Justin Mons stayed out on lap 76, and everybody that's going on by was in on lap 107. So he's going to fall back. It was a great strategy, but at some point you've just got to bite the bullet, come on down. Nobody wants to be in the back where the wrecks tend to happen more. But looks like he's found a little bit of a hole. Whoa, right behind the 79, almost being made contact by the 68 of Tom Harmon. Jeff Byers, Jeff Noe to round out the top 10.
James Holzer, 17-lap-old tires, and you can tell he's just making a great run at it. A huge gap already between him and Glenn Austin, who's almost on a 50-lap run for his tires. Dane Cruz, O'Brien, Falliker, all on 18-lap-old tires, along with Kalinka and Harmon. So these guys really starting to show that difference come in as far as fresh tires versus those old ones.
Yeah, Jackson Glenn Austin absolutely doing a great job on his tires. Again, last time he was on pit road was lap 76. So he is not falling back like the others. That's why I said earlier, Eliza, I would love to see this 21 out front with brand new Eagle Feel Goods. I think he might actually set the pace.
Dane Cruz up to second, Jackson in third, Matt O'Brien trying to make his way up there, P4. Brody Falliker, these guys are starting to go single file. Justin Mons going to fall back and right and directly in front of Cody Kalinka in seventh, Thomas Harmon in eighth. And we saw him involved in that earlier wreck, and he's already back up here. Absolutely incredible. Same with Jeff Noe. He had nowhere to go, got involved, and he is sitting P9, up 21 spots from where he started.
Absolutely. Jeff Byers again in that 333 Pantera machine. He's up 8 spots in his Chevrolet right now, running 10th. 11th, the one and only Team FTR driver, Jose Ruiz in that 23. He's up 11. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer in that 00, that red and white machine. That Ford pretty fast, up 9 spots to P12. P13, Andrew Sanford in that 37 Waves Toyota. He's up 18 spots. Up 22 is going to be the 78 of Brian Pizzakemi, and then up 20 more, Dylan Robb in that number 16 Toyota.
Jordan McGraw is going to be P16, down 9 spots. He was involved in an earlier incident, nowhere for him to go. I don't think there's been a driver that hasn't been involved in something. If there has, it's been very few and far between.
Not kidding.
Joe Berg at 17th. Micah, who we saw lose it coming off the exit, he is back there in 18th. Jacob Locklear 19th. And 20th is going to be Joshua, who rounds out the top 20.
Yeah, then Matt Burgess in that number 12 Ford. That A&W machine is a staple here in the Shake and Bake iRacing Cup Series. He's down 5 spots after qualifying, running 21st. Chuck Cody is going to be behind him in that number 31. He's up 15 spots. Jacob Palmer in that number 39 Ford, up 11. Good run for Jacob this evening. The 92 Chevy for Kevin Dallator, been involved in a couple things and just trying to keep that Yingling machine on the up and up. Struggling a bit, but still up 13.
Yeah, Jimmy Cocker makes a pass through him, and it's going to be for 24th, so he makes the move. Luke Allen going to be 26, and then Riley Rosenbrook, a tough night for him. He's out here P27. I do want to give a shout out to you guys in chat. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We do appreciate it. David, be safe tonight. Get some sleep, and I hope you feel better.
Tom Flickroft really struggling after some very early success, very close to the front. Saw him tag the wall a few times. Caution is going to fly. Frozen. It's the 11th of the evening. Looks like Jimmy Cocker and Kevin Dalatory, a couple of guys we were just talking about.
Yeah, we're on board with Jimmy Cocker. Just starts losing it, tries to save it, and it looks like Kevin just drives straight into him, not suspecting that he's losing it, and nowhere for anyone to go. There you have it.
Yeah, the 11 really trying to check up, not to completely lose the back end. You saw him drifting all the way through the corner, just nowhere to go for anybody behind him.
Yeah, let's take a look on board with Jimmy as he tries to save that 11 machine. It's just one of those things. You can hear him. He's being easy on the throttle. In 5th right now, and there's just nothing he can do. Once you lose it, it's extremely difficult to try to save it.
Yeah, I remember these next-gen cars when they first came out. You try to save like that, and all of a sudden it would catch, and it would just dart to the outside wall. Thank God a lot of things have changed on these next-gen cars. Otherwise, a lot of these cars would be more destroyed than they already are.
So true. Again, thank you to our sponsor, WoodyxCA. If you can, give him a follow over on his channel. I'll put that channel out there. He does several games. Apparently Forza now. We got NASCAR Heat, Warzone. He's a lot of fun to watch, so we appreciate him being a sponsor this season for SnB Cup Series. So give him a follow, tell him we sent you, and come back on over.
All right, Eliza. Tom Harmon in that Avril Lavigne Camaro decided he's going to stay out. Last time he was in was on lap 107, so he's got 30 lap old tires. Jordan McGraw going to sit P2. Last time he was down pit road was lap 114. Mike Allard also down on lap 107. A couple more from lap 114, including Matt Burgess and Jacob Palmer. Everybody else behind him down on lap 136 with this recent caution. You can't stay out too long.
Yeah, it seems like these drivers that stay out, it's usually around the 30s. We've seen it at 35. We've seen it at 32 and close to 40 even. So we'll see how these guys do, but it doesn't seem to be an issue. They seem to fall back a little bit, but the incidents that are happening seem to be in the middle of the pack or in the back. So kind of interesting to see. Out front has been pretty clean.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Tom Harmon is going to be able to do now that he's got control of the race. He is the control car, and Avril's looking pretty clean on the front. You don't see any damage whatsoever. I don't see any fenders all roughed up. He did get into a little bit of an issue earlier, but for the most part, that number 68 Camaro is looking pretty healthy.
He's looking pretty clean. We'll see if he can stay that way. Meanwhile, the 92 of Kevin in front of him, he has just had a really tough night tonight. So we'll see him try to make his way past the pace car and get one of those lap back, go to the rear of the field. You see Jordan McGraw up there. Man, it's going to be an interesting start. The race is coming down to an end, coming to lap 140 of 180. I would like to say that it won't get more aggressive, but as this race goes on, I think it's going to get more aggressive.
Yep, elbows up. Aggression meter is going to be pegged. I think we might see a couple more yellows before it's all said and done. But Jordan McGraw in that Sega Genesis number 34 to the outside of Tom Harmon. This is the furthest up that Jordan McGraw has been. He had a phenomenal finish last week at COTA. I think Jordan might be able to do something with these leaders now that he's got that Camaro in the somewhat green air. He'll be able to follow along with that 68, get in line, get in rhythm. I think J-Mac's gonna do pretty well from here if he can keep those older tires underneath him. Again, was down last on lap 114.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes for these guys. A lot of varying strategies, a lot of different tire wear for these top 8 drivers, but it's all around 30, so we'll see. But man, a terrible start for that outside. Man, oh man, that's kind of brutal. But 4 wide as we go into P4, and they go to 3 wide, and it is chaos out there, Pete.
Yeah, chaos, but they make it work. They're able to, be cleared by their spotter. Come on up, back to double file. 41-12. They are 3 wide with the 21. At 39's getting loose. He's going to collect the 12 and others. Very unfortunate.
Brutal out here. We see, trying to see if we can find out who that was. But man, whoever it was, they tried to save it the entire time. Jeff Byers right there losing it and up into the 67 of Matthew Gale. It's just tough. It is a tough night out here on the track for SnB drivers.
Yeah, Jacob Palmer absolutely coming around, just nowhere to go. When that car is running sideways, you could try to go high, you could try to go low, but that middle line just going to be completely blocked, and Jacob Palmer taking the brunt of it in the door.
Unfortunate to see the top few guys, though, still out there in the front. Jordan McGraw going to fall to third. Micah is going to go up to second. Dane in fourth. James Holzer running out the top 5. And then Brody Falliker, he's going to be 6th. And Jackson going to be 7th. Matt O'Brien at 8th. And Cody Kalinka 9th. With Justin Mons going to round out the top 10.
Yeah, Matt Burgess in that A&W number 12. I mean, we talked about him a little bit ago. Really just nowhere to go. Got collected. All kinds of damage to the front end of that machine. But you know what, Eliza, something about Richmond, it's not an aero-dependent track. Yeah, it might get a little bit tighter getting into the corner just because of the damage itself. But the damage that he's got, he's not missing an entire, front nose. He's not missing the tailpiece or anything like that. I think this 12 could still finish in the top 15. Matt Burgess just really has to try to get into a rhythm and finish the best that he can.
I agree. Yeah, he's very much got the car. He's got the speed to finish out there in the top 10. So we'll see if he can't sneak in a couple of more spots, keep it consistent there. Lap 145 of 180. We still have enough racing, but you got to keep your machine clean and keep it out of trouble. And it's hard to do that tonight. There's so much... so many guys losing it out on the track coming out of the exits, and we're seeing a lot of chaos from it.
They're getting closer and closer to 30 laps to go. 68 leading Micah Allard right now, City P2. Jordan McGraw, Dane Cruz, and James Holter. Dane Cruz, his first race with Shake and Bake. So far, I'd have to say a very great add to the Shake and Bake roster. Very fast, very clean. Been able to see him both on the low side underneath somebody and able to utilize the brake and the throttle, not really washing up. Be on the outside, able to pinch somebody down without making any contact. Dane Cruz doing all right.
He's doing all right. I'm curious though, man. Making his first debut at Richmond. That's quite a a scope to take on here. So. I know Coda would have been even as crazy, but a clean race at Coda, and Andrew Wisdom took it home after a dominating performance. But Richmond is a whole nother beast. I mean, you got a short track, and it's just very slick out here. But Dane is taking it on and doing well. Jordan McGraw in third. Micah going to be second. Thomas Harmon going to lead us off, getting that bonus point for leading a lap. See what he can do here.
Yeah, lights top the pace car should be going off this time by as they pass the entrance to pit road. It'll be interesting, Dane Cruz joining on a short track. Kind of makes me think he's a big fan of racing these style tracks. It'll be interesting to see what he's capable of as we get back to some of the bigger standard size tracks.
Couple of guys getting back on track from pit road before we go green. We are lined up double wide as we get ready to go. But man, oh man, 22 drivers I think I saw out on track. And I know we had a couple of joins, so there may be more, but a lot of drivers out. And it's just definitely going to take a hit to the point standings. RC Action says, when are they going to go to Long Beach? I trust these guys on the road courses. They do great, to be honest. But, man, that would be a track, wouldn't it?
That would be interesting. One track I absolutely could not get wrapped around was the Chicago road course. But we are back green. 68 able to stab the throttle. Micah Allard, and he's got 3 behind him. Got the 81, the 34, and the 17 of James Holzer. James Holzer now underneath old Mr. Cruz.
Dylan Robb, I saw him lose it in the back and he goes into the wall. We are still green, but a couple of drivers still falling back. And you can see Joe Berg, he is one of those that lost it. We'll see what we can find, but man, oh man.
Yep, unlucky. Caution number 13 flies on the evening. We are officially in more than the double digits. So we passed 10 from what I believe I saw David or somebody else out there say in chat. But I think Tom Harmon's kind of liking where he's at, Eliza.
Matt, it looks like he got up the track a little bit and turned Joe Berg. I don't know who was on that high side, but he did a fantastic job of making his way around and not having any contact. Justin, I see you out there. It feels like that may be what we're going to see tonight, but hopefully not. Caution count 473. Let's not go there.
Great job by Joe Berg to really get on the brakes and steer it all. I mean, he was hard over to the right, trying to keep that thing off of the inside wall. Meanwhile, lock it down. That way people had an avenue to get around him, either high or low. Good job, Joe Berg.
I don't know. Obviously I can't hear the radio and what the drivers are chatting about, but I guarantee there are some heated moments out there tonight. There's going to be some unhappy drivers.
Yeah, I mean, Eliza, that's a short track racing. I mean, it is what it is. Short track racing is literally a beast of its own, and it does cause some people to get a little upset, and some people, you know, at the end, they're happy to do that burnout and absolutely happy that it's said and done. The 68, I have a feeling we're not going to see Tom Harmon come on down pit road at all anymore. I think he's going to stay right where he's at. He's counting on cautions to continue and take the best possible finish that he can get. Will he lose the lead? I think he will, but I think he's going to get a great finish.
Yeah, Tom, Micah, and Jordan McGraw are the ones on the oldest tires up in the top 8. The rest of them, 15-lap-old tires. We'll see how they fare as we go back to green, but it hasn't seemed to be an issue yet. I mean, as far as tires go and fuel, you can last a long time on these, but it's just the handling overall. Whether it's new tires or older tires, it's just this track is a beast out here tonight, and there's not much you can do except try to survive. This is a race of survival tonight. If you can do that, you're going to have some good points.
Yeah, you really will. And we've seen a lot of different drivers up front getting those good points, getting that extra bonus point for leading a lap. And then if we do get a couple more cautions, and I mean, I don't want to see the whole green-white checker. I don't want to see us, max out the green-white checkers, if that's a thing, to get to the finish this evening. I want to see a great green flag finish all the way to the end. Getting closer to 25 laps to go. Working lap 153 out of 180. Pace car should be coming on down pit road very, very soon. Harmon, Allard, Holzer, Cruz, and Falker, your top 5.
Yeah, Jordan McGraw gonna look in P6. Looking on into 5th and above. Jackson, Glenn Austin in 7th. Matt O'Brien in 8th. And I feel like we keep seeing Matt O'Brien in 8th as these restarts are happening, so we'll see if he can't make his way back in. He led quite a few laps the first part of the race here, so we'll see if he can't get back up to lead.
Yeah, Matt O'Brien, the fastest in practice, started on the pole, led a ton of laps in the beginning, and just has not been able to get back up to that top spot to try to finish it off where our current points leader would like to finish tonight's race.
We knew it was going to be brutal coming in. Officials were brutal all week. Like I said, every 10 to 15, 20 laps, there was a caution, and this is definitely no different. Still over 25 laps to go, so we'll see if we can't get a green flag run. But man, these cars just getting loose coming out of the exits, brake bias. It's just a guess on where it's going to feel the best at this point. Oh, huge checkup at the front. I don't know how these drivers survive that, but man, oh man, not a start you want to see, but they are 3 wide trying to get things situated. Thomas Harmon going to go 2 wide for the lead. He falls back for Micah. Thomas goes to the lead. James Holter in 2nd, and he's going to battle it out for the lead once again, Pete.
Yeah, Tom Harmon up by the outside, keeping it off the wall, even opening up the throttle coming off the corner. Looks like Holtzer's going to go ahead and throw that number 17 Team Conti machine in on the bottom. Last time Holzer felt clean air, he checked out.
Yeah, I was just about to say, every time he sees that front, he just absolutely gets a huge gap on these drivers, all the way up to almost 2 seconds. But looks like we have another caution. Jacob Palmer involved, and Dylan Robb.
Yeah, 25, now 24 laps remaining here from Richmond in this 160 lapper. A lot of great competition, some very ill handling race cars this evening, as the 39 and others have a couple of issues.
Let's see if we can see it from another angle here. It's tough. It is tough out there tonight.
Yeah, Jacob Palmer's definitely struggling. He had a little bit of an issue 2 or 3 cautions ago, and just has not been able to get the feel of his race car back underneath him.
See a driver out there. It looks like Kevin once again, who lost it originally, and then that was a whole different incident as Jacob got into Joshua and then Dylan involved. So, it's just crazy out here, Pete.
Yeah, Dylan, just a wrong line, wrong time. There was nowhere that he could go. He could not get on the binders fast enough to try to pull low. He just had to, stay on the brake and ride it through.
Ride it through, indeed. James Holzer still out front, and man, let's hope the next one goes better than the last restart, because man, that at the start was absolutely insane. As these cars stacked up, they somehow saved it, but chaos ensued in the back, and here we go, 22 to go for Richmond, and already you hear some drivers unhappy in chat and Discord here.
Yeah, that last restart, some definitely were not happy. Huge accordion effect all the way back. James Holzer was able to get around Tom Harmon. Dane Cruz was going to move up to P3. Brody Falker started 4th, able to find his way back up to that spot. Jackson Glenn Austin, P5, down 3. His night is not done. It seems like he's been inside the top 5 all night long. Justin Mons up 11 spots in that number 41 to sit P6. P7 to 43 again of Matt O'Brien. He has moved up 1, Eliza. Cody Kalinka in that 79 Hooters machine up 1 also, sitting 8th. 9th, up 13 spots, Jose Ruiz. And then Jonathan Jurgensmeyer in that 00, up 11 for P10.
Jeff No still hanging out here. P11 doing a great job. We have Jacob Locklear, been involved in a couple of incidents. His car looks relatively clean considering he's going to be in 12th, and Andrew Sanford in 13th. Joe Berg hanging out there in that 93 machine in 14th, and Matt Burgess in that 12 machine sitting P15. Jordan McGraw, we saw him come up there earlier in the field. He's going to be back in 16th with Micah. Going to be in 17th, Chuck Cody 18th, Brian Pizzikimi 19th, and Jimmy Cocker. Tough night for him. He's going to round out the top 20.
Yeah, the 16 of Dylan Robb that we just saw involved in that wreck with nowhere to go, sitting 21st, but still up 14 spots when you got a 38 car field. That is very possible. Jacob Palmer, who has absolutely had a very rough race, sitting 22nd, up 12 also. Kevin Dallatorre in that number 92, up 15, sitting 23rd, 24th. Down 1 is going to be Joshua Vidal. Luke Allen behind him, usually rocking the Mizuno. Tonight's the Cincinnati Reds. Riley Rosenbrook in the 86. Matt Gale, P.J. O'Leary in the HendrickCars.com 24. Tom Flickcroft in that number 8. Very, very hard night for him. And Jeff Byers to round out the top 30. Eliza, we're getting doubled up one more time, ready to go back green.
I think we might see it a couple more times, Pete. You know how it does. Aggressive as we start, and Thomas Harmon. Not a good start for him as James Holzer gets the start. It's off of him. Tom Harmon going to be in second as we go 3 wide for P3. That's going to be Brody Jackson and Dane as he loses it. Let's see if we can't see where he ends up. Man, oh man. I don't know how he saved that, Pete.
Yeah, great save by the 21 of Jackson Glenn Austin. 41 might tag that wall just a little bit. Talking about Justin Mons. And then the 43, Matt O'Brien up to P6. The pole sitter trying to work his way back on through. 18 laps to go here from Richmond.
Brutal race tonight. We haven't seen one of these races in a long time, but James Holzer going to lead us as we come down to 17 laps to go at Richmond Raceway. Thomas Harmon in second, Brody Falker in third. Jackson having a solid night here, sitting P4 currently. Matt O'Brien going to take over that fourth spot. They're going back and forth, battling it out, and another caution.
Yeah, caution 15 on the evening. Matt Gale, Micah Allard, and Joe Berg possibly have something to say about this. But I tell you what, James Holzer, he is not relaxing whatsoever. He knows he's got the top spot, but the man just went to plaid, posting the fastest lap of the evening with a 21:69. That's 3/10 faster than the fastest lap before that. Holzer's going to be on a tear.
A lot of chaos going on here. Let's see what happened to Micah. He just loses it once again. We saw him have that happen earlier on. Nowhere for him to go. He puts it into the wall, but unfortunately a couple of drivers catch him, and he loses his front end.
Yeah, 67, Matt Gale just nowhere to go. Gets the tires up and off the ground. Looks like 39, able to pilot his way slowly down on the apron, and then the 11 of Jimmy Cocker able to follow straight through also. Jimmy Cocker definitely not the night that he would have wanted.
Sanford did an amazing job trying to miss that wreck there. I don't know how he did it, but let's see if we can't go on board with him and see how he made it through. See Micah get loose there, and he just dives it down low and narrowly escapes. So great job by Andrew there.
Very, very close. I mean, that's just wreck avoidance 101. Great job by Mr. Sanford. Absolutely. That 37 Waves machine. Back up front, Eliza, 17 and 68. I think we've seen this before many times.
I think we have, and let's get a chat with Thomas Harmon and see how he's doing out there and how's the car feeling. Thomas Harmon, it's Eliza. How you doing out there?
A little shocked right now, actually.
It has been a rough night. We've seen you up here quite a bit lately. How is your car feeling tonight?
Feeling pretty good right now. I'm a little shocked that with me having the older tires, I'm able to stay up here with these guys. But I guess with all the cautions, it's allowed me to cool the tires.
Do you plan on pitting? We only have 14 laps to go. Or are you planning to stay out here and try to get everything you can?
Oh, my bet has been made. I'm staying out. We're riding it out.
I can't say I blame you, but a lot of luck to you tonight as we head into the final laps. Hopefully, we can get them done shortly.
Hope so. Let's go green from here on out. I'll be happy with that.
Let's hope. All right, good luck to you. We'll wish you a ton of luck.
Thank you.
That was Thomas Harmon. A wild race here at Richmond. I'd like to say I would think that would be our only caution as we head to 13 to go, but Pete, this is crazy. The conditions so loose. Like I said, I haven't seen a race out here in this league this crazy in a long time.
Yeah, and what's crazy is the track temp is coming down. 72 degrees, 68 degree air temp. You would think that as the track temperatures come down, you'd gain a little bit more grip, but not so much. It seems like some of these guys are still really struggling. About halfway through the race, you'd also think that you have an idea of what you can or what you can't do with that throttle pedal, where you've got to hit the brakes, where you need your brake bias. You'd think about halfway through you'd have a general idea or a general consensus of what that car is capable of. Eliza, we're still seeing people make the I don't want to say make the same mistakes, because some of these guys, it's not of their doing, but we're seeing some of the same issues that we saw on lap 1.
Joe Turkey says Season 2 Phoenix 1 has entered the chat. And we go to green once again. The inside stacks up. These guys keep stacking it up right there. makes for a close call as they go green, but we are off and running. James Holzer in first, Thomas Harmon in second. We have Jackson and Brody battling it out side by side for P3 and 4. And Matt O'Brien going to dive it down low. These guys are taking every spot that they can on track, trying to keep it clean, but man, it is close out there.
Yeah, Matt O'Brien up to P5, down 4 after starting on pole. James Holzer getting that hellacious launch on the green flag. I think the 68 of Tom Harmon really having an issue with those restarts, not wanting to just stab the throttle, not lose traction, and not loop it around. But we got caution 16 out.
Jeff No involved on that. I guess Lewis tries to save it, comes down into Andrew Sanford, and man, he is just a ping pong after that, just tagging cars left and right. Officially missing his front end. The saga continues, the chaos ensues, and these drivers are missing car parts everywhere.
Yeah, PJ O'Leary, the 27, the 55 of Jeff No. A couple more involved in that. 92 of Kevin Dallatore. He's been all over the place this evening. The 7 Cincinnati Reds car. Yeah, that turn definitely saw its share of carnage.
Most certainly did. You can see Luke Allen with that damage on him. Kevin goes into pit road along with Joshua and a couple other these drivers. PJ, he takes his way on to pit road here. Man, oh man, brutal night. These drivers are going to be unhappy about this. The heated aggression out here and 8 laps to go. We'll see if we go... we take it to the end, or we're going to see some overtime here. What do you think, Pete?
I think it's very possible. I mean, like you just said, 8 laps to go. This 160 lapper here from Richmond has seen some success stories. It's far from over yet. Are we done with caution? I don't think we are, Eliza. I think we will definitely see a bit of overtime. Will it be the 17 of Holzer that gets it done? Will Harmon get that restart to stay right on the 17's back end, or are those older tires going to ail him? Jackson Glenn Austin been fast all night long. Can him and Brody Falliker maybe move their way to the top, since they were both on pit road last on lap 136 right along with Holzer? Who's going to get up there? Can anybody take it from the 17 after his woes last week at Coda?
James Holzer won round 2 at Las Vegas, so this would be his second win if he did take it home tonight. Thomas Harmon, on the other hand, he has yet to win a race, looking to win here tonight at Richmond Raceway. And man, what a satisfying win that would be after overcoming all the trouble tonight here. I think any of these drivers would be excited that it would be over. But James Holzer, he's got the speed tonight. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, he absolutely does. And talk about the 68 of Tom Harmon. He won the regular season championship. I know we don't have the playoffs and all that this year, but he won the regular season championship last year up until Daytona. But he said, no, I'm not going to claim that championship without a W. Got to the World Center of Speed, got the W done, and it was a phenomenal season for that 68. I'm hoping to see Tom Harmon kind of rebound from the issues that he's had. Could tonight be the catalyst for that launch?
Let's see if we can get him to bring it home and not go into overtime. But James Holzer, you know he's going to be on it. Thomas Harmon, he's going to have to be all over when he thinks Holzer is going to make that move. But these top 8 drivers are on lap 39 old tires, except for Harmon, who is matching his number at 68 lap old tires.
Yeah, older tires have really failed as the long run has gone. So these short runs are a friend of the 68. The long run's the friend of those that came down on lap 136 or after 150, 157, as you see some back down a lot around P10, P11. So we'll have to see.
We shall see as we go back to green with 5 to go. It's going to be 4 to go shortly, and James Holzer leading us back to green. Thomas Harmon's going to have to be on it. We keep saying it. Jackson is going to be directly behind James Holzer. We'll see how his restart is. All over the back bumper, Brody Falliker is going to give a little nudge to Thomas Harmon. James Holzer with a great start, obviously. Jackson, Glenn Austin, he's going to be side by side, and this is going to be for P2, Pete.
Caution's gonna fly. That is for P2. Jackson Glenn Austin looks like he's not going to be able to beat Harmon to the yellow. So we will have our first official green-white checker, as Holzer's hoping that this is not the end.
What a night for these drivers. Let's take a look. Riley Rosenbrook involved on this one, and it just looks like a huge stack up with nowhere to go. These drivers just getting into each other. Let's see if we can't take it back. See the 55, Luke Allen gonna go underneath. Jimmy Cocker loses a little bit, and that might be the stack up right there. Just, man, not much you can do. It just seems to be midfield is where things just go downhill very quickly.
Yeah, Jacob Palmer, something's went on with a big checkup by him, and the 11 just nowhere to go, and it was melee behind him.
Back to caution, 3 to go here at Richmond Raceway under the lights, and it has been a wild race. Send in Rage says easy win for James. We'll see. It's not over yet. 3 to go. Anything is bound to happen, but one thing is going to be for sure. These guys are going to go into overtime. I guarantee.
Yeah. 3 attempts at the green-white checker. This is attempt number 1. So James Holzer leading the way. He is a control car, 68 of Tom Harmon. He is on some very, very old tires. Maybe he's hoping that these last 3 laps he can kind of hold on. He's got a very hungry Jackson Glenn Austin right behind him. He knows that he's got some newer tires. He was also down pit road lap 136. Brody Falliker, the same thing in his team FIWB machine. And Matt O'Brien back into P5. I think I mentioned that earlier. Also came down pit road on lap 136. So the guy that was fastest in practice took the pole back inside the top 5. I think he might have something to say, maybe looking for a podium.
Looking for a podium. We'll see if he can't make it happen. Justin Mons is just fighting to stay up here, doing a great job. Cody Kalinka, he has just done a fabulous job this season, gaining all the speed, and tonight he is keeping his car, trying to keep it clean, and he's out here in P7. But James Holzer, we'll see if he can't make this win happen. Second of the season so far, but Thomas Harmon, he won't be far behind.
Yeah, Cody Kalinga in that number 79 Hooters machine last season was a tale of woes. This season so far, doing all right. That 79 Hooters machine looking pretty clean. Looks like he's, for the most part, been able to keep it out of harm's way. I see Jose Ruiz, couple spots behind him. So some pretty solid guys that we talk about week in and week out inside the top 10.
They're inside the top 10, and we have Brendan Book out here in chat, and unfortunately he wrecked out earlier on. And Send in Rage, who is Hunter Johnson, also wrecked out. He says, I'm glad I'm dead. This is just one of those races. And Joe Turkey said earlier on, this is like the Phoenix that we saw in a different season last season. So, yeah, I would say 17 cautions in. This is crazy, Pete.
Yeah, last season at Phoenix, it was kind of strange to watch a car completely lose it just in that little dip in the dogleg. No, didn't touch the apron, nothing like that. It's just that little dip completely through the car sideways, and it caused quite a few issues. Tonight, very, very loose track. Well, we've got 2 more attempts at green-white checker. Pace cars pulling off. 17's a control car, 21 behind. 68 and 1 is going to be the top 4. 1 going to give the 68 a little bit of a shot at it after Tom Harmon didn't get the launch that he wanted.
Yeah, that high side, not a great launch once again, and that's going to put these guys 3 wide towards the front here. They're going to file out into 2, but man, oh man, it is looking pretty chaotic already, and no surprise here. Just 2 laps to go. We'll see if we can't bring it home, but here comes James Holzer, just so strong, already a huge gap.
There is a wreck on the backstretch, but we are staying green, or white, I should say. White flag is out. Holzer, he's going to have this one in the bag as long as he doesn't make a mistake in 3 and 4. Behind him, though, it's about the 21 and the 68. Tom Harmon on the outside. Jackson Glenn Austin, drag race off of 4. Harmon gets P2.
Harmon takes P2. James Holzer with the win. Well, showing Jackson for P2. We'll see what it rounds out to here, but man, oh man. Let's take it back to.
That's going to be tight.
Yeah, that is going to be tight here. You can see the battle for P2 right here as they come around, but man, nose to nose, these guys side by side. What a battle for P2 it is going to be. Thomas Harmon, but it still shows Jackson. Wild, wild race here.
Yeah, the replay definitely shows Harmon by a nose.
It does.
Yep. Well, very, very interesting finish. 100 plus laps in the books. Holzer visiting victory lane. Very, very familiar with that spot.
Let's get James Holzer in the booth. We'll get Thomas Harmon and see if we can't get Jackson Glenn Austin. I don't see him out there. Let me know if you see him out there, Pete.
Nope, I don't. Not yet.
All right. A huge win for James Holzer, his second of the season. But man, this race, James, how about that? We saw you gain 23 spots to make it up here to win the race. How was your car? How was the race? How messy was it?
Yeah, so I was concerned with not having many laps on the fixed set, being I ran a couple open races this week, didn't know how I was going to handle, so we started from pit road actually, so did qualify 24th, but didn't like the way I felt on the car, so just wanted to ride a little bit and try to get some comfort and kind of feel it out. So we were in the back there for a little bit, but once we got up there, car felt decent. I mean, it was a little bit tight, especially in traffic, really had to back up your corners, but was finding some different grooves were working too, so was able to set up passes and had enough green flag runs at some points of the race to get where we needed to be. There were some people that stayed out and was saving a set of tires, but the fresh tires honestly didn't feel that great. So, you know, I was planning on making my last pit stop around that 40 to go, 35 to go mark, just because even if we had a caution with 10 to go, it was gonna be really hard for them to make the pass with having control of the race. So did what we had to do, and yeah, so it worked out really good though for Harmon and Jackson though, or I think Jackson might have pit, but worked out really well for Harmon, and I think Brody might have stayed out too. Brody was running right around top 5, but Harmon definitely gained a couple of spots doing that. I'm sure he was just riding around, you know, keeping those tires on it, so that way when he started up front, he would have as much tire as possible. But yeah, nonetheless, wish we'd had a little more green flag racing, as this track usually trends to have, just because this is one of my favorite tracks. It's a lot of fun to run around, but nonetheless, it was fun either way.
Well, I'm glad you had a fun race, a wild one from where we were sitting, but man, oh man, second win of the season. Huge congratulations to you, James. You had a great final restart there, made your way back up to the front, and you had the car to beat as far as speed. And once you got out in that clean air, you were just absolutely gone. So congratulations. Enjoy that win tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Wish the 51 would have made it to see what we would have had with him, because him and I usually are always really, really even on long run pace. So just unfortunate, but we're looking forward to next week at Texas. Thank you.
I agree. All right, Pete, take it over to Jackson for second.
All right, Jackson, it is repeat. Welcome to the podium. Man, I had you picked for the W tonight just because of the great races that you've had so far since joining Shake It Big. I don't think you spent much time outside of the top 5. Please take us through your race, some of your close calls, and then how about that finish between you and Harmon?
Yeah, I thought I got third, not second. I know it was really close between us at the end. It was a pretty tight battle. But majority of the race, I was just trying to keep my tires under me. I knew James was going to eventually make his way up through the field, and that I'd catch him, or that he would catch me at some point. So I was just trying to focus on finishing as high as I could once he got behind, or once he got by me.
Yeah, the time in scoring has you finishing P2 by a very very slim margin on the replay as the stream is showing. It does show the 68, but I got nothing on that one. This software can be a little finicky sometimes, but maybe the admins and whatnot will have to go back and take a look at that. But overall, not just this evening, just since you joined Shake and Bake a few weeks ago, you've definitely been a force to be reckoned with for the most part inside the top 5. What is it about the style of tracks that we've been to so far that just fit your style?
I would say it's more so I'm a bit of a merchant when it comes to driving the next gen car, but I definitely try to race as clean as I can. I know I haven't done that great of a job, and I want to apologize to a couple of people for that. I'm gonna definitely clean up a bit more, but I like the way that the car handles. I like racing up hard at the front for it, and usually if I can get the car to just turn in the corners without jumping under me, I can make a good result out of it.
All right, buddy. Well, welcome to the booth yet again. Welcome to Shake and Bake. We'll see you next week at Texas. Great job.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right, Eliza, the one and only Tom Harmon.
Tom Harmon out here. Yeah, you just sent me a message saying P2. Who knows with how this thing is going? This is a wild race tonight, but we talked to you earlier. While under caution, you were going to stay out. Very old tires. How did it feel out there? You brought it home. Was it difficult with how old the tires were compared to everyone else?
Oh yeah, they were old, and they also went for a nice long slide sideways through the entirety of 3 and 4. I didn't change them after that. I just spent the cautions trying to cool them back down. But it was a little bit of a trip on those things once we went back to green the first couple times afterwards. But I'm a little shocked I got P2. I thought I'd get eaten alive once Holzer got by me, but when I was able to hang with him, I'm like, well, I think I'm just going to stay out the rest of the way, and decided that's what we're going to do.
Well, it definitely worked out. You're still looking for that first win of the season. How you feel about Texas?
Yeah, it's Texas.
Fair enough. I think it should go a lot better than Richmond here. This was a wild race, but you guys are awesome. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Man, a record amount of cautions, I feel like, for SnB out here. Definitely a rough start for Richmond Raceway, but next week is going to be Texas. Back to those 1.5 miles, ovals. It should be a lot of fun. Pete, it's always fun out with you out here.
Yeah, absolutely. Lone Star State always puts on a great show. Can't wait to find out who's firing off the 6-shooters in Victory Lane way down south. Let's go.
That is it for us tonight. You guys take it easy. Racer, I see you out there. Jacob, you did a great job out there. You guys take it easy, be safe, and we'll see you next week.